Hey familia, Miranda here. Welcome to a new year and welcome to another episode of First Viewing where I share my thoughts and recommendations with you guys on films that I watched for the very first time. And I'm actually kind of surprised I do have quite the load today because considering December, I was pretty much sick for most of the month. There was days I just didn't even want to crawl out of bed and just didn't even have the energy to watch any movies, but I do have quite a bit to share. So we're going to go on ahead and get into things. It is pretty heavy on the Christmas stuff. Even though I didn't get around to watching all the Christmas movies that I normally do, I did manage to, pop in some new ones that I hadn't seen before. So we're going to go on ahead and see what all I watched and get into little reviews. All right, so the first film up is Braven. This one I really enjoyed. I thought Jason Momoa was absolutely perfect in this role. I mean, it's not something that we really haven't seen before. It's kind of your basic kind of storyline, but it does take place out in the mountains, just like out in the middle of the mountains, no cell service. And so basically he goes up there with his dad to spend some kind of like last minute quality time. Well, it just so happens that some bad guys hid some drugs in the shed there, and so there's really no way out. You turn the drugs over, they're gonna kill you. You don't turn them over, they're gonna kill you. But his daughter just so happened to kind of hide herself in the car, and so she's up there, and so now he has to protect his daughter and his dad from all these bad guys. So it's pretty good little action thriller type flick, you guys. And like I said, Jason Momoa, he was pretty good in here, so I definitely enjoy this one. Definitely recommend it. All right, next up we have Invictus. Now this is a very powerful film, you guys. There's definitely a couple moments in here that hit hard for sure. And Morgan Freeman as Mandela was absolutely fantastic. And this does have to do with the rugby team and how pretty much Mandela made this team into kind of an inspiration, a way for the nation to kind of come together. But honestly, you guys, I really didn't feel like the film was necessarily all about rugby and about this rugby team. But if anything, it was more about the importance behind all of the things that were happening around in the area at that time. Because just Mandela in here, his story and everything, it's just such a powerful story, you guys. It was just so inspiring to see him come from being in prison all those years and then becoming the president and everything, and turning this still segregated country into just something so much more, just bringing the people together with rugby kind of as the source and stuff, as the inspiration behind that. And it was honestly just a really beautiful film, you guys. Like I said, it was more about everything that was going on around at the time. Not so much necessarily the rugby, but it was a plus that, the sport actually brought people together and, brought hope to a nation and all of that and stuff. But yes, Morgan Freeman was just absolutely excellent in here. And like I said, there's definitely some moments. I think my favorite moment in this film was when the team went to go play and, teach the kids there on the street about rugby and stuff. That moment was just so impactful. Oh my goodness, I couldn't help myself, you guys. But definitely check out Invictus. All right, next up we have Blue Beetle. I really enjoyed this one, you guys. No, it is not a great superhero flick by any means, but this one, I don't know, it just pulled me in differently. And I think that one of the main things is that you have a Hispanic family at the center of everything. And I really love seeing the kind of family values, the cultural values, and just the togetherness of the family. I mean, there's definitely some fun, cheesy moments in here. You got George Lopez bringing the funny, that's for sure. But even just the whole family together, they just really clicked. And there was just a lot of really great character chemistry going on and stuff. And so I don't know, like I said, this one for some reason just hit me kind of differently. It's kind of hard to explain, but I love all that. And it was just, there's some sentimental moments in here that just really hit you kind of hard. But it was definitely a fun film for sure. But like I said, it is not perfect. It's not great. I can see why many people didn't like it. And it's definitely certain that, not everybody's going to connect the same with this kind of film. But I really enjoyed it. My son enjoyed it. And we thought it was just a blast of a film. And there's just so much more to it than it being this kind of superhero flick. There's values and tradition and stuff like that, like I said. So I really did enjoy this one, and I just think that it was a fun little watch. All right, so getting into some of the Christmas titles, we have A Merry Christmas Baby. This one was a definite no from you guys, a one time, and that's it. It really just wasn't good at all. Like, I didn't really care for any of the characters. They didn't really click very well. I mean, I do like, what's her name? Melinda Williams. I've seen her in a couple other things, and I like her, but yeah, she just wasn't very good in this. And it basically has to do with the little girl. She is turning 1 year old. It's Christmas time, and so her character basically wants to do this, like, crazy big, like, Christmas slash birthday bash kind of thing. And like, so for the mom, it's kind of like all about the presents and just going big or go home kind of thing. And for the dad, he's like, you know, it's not even, she's not even going to remember it. You know, she's a year old and she's not even going to remember this party, you know, down the road or whatever. And so he's kind of more not too concerned about it. But the mom, like I said, she just wants to go all out. And even though her company is kind of struggling, she just wants this crazy party and lots of presents and stuff like that. So, I mean, her mindset when it comes to that isn't necessarily in the right place, but like I said, it just really wasn't good at all, you guys. So definitely a one and done for me. All right, next up we have Silent Night. So I guess this is the remake. I haven't seen the original one, so I can't really like compare the two or anything like that. But this one, I love this one, you guys. I mean, you got good kills, good gore, and the killer dressed as Santa. Like, what more could you possibly want? So I highly recommend you check this one out. It is definitely a fun little kind of slasher flick. All right, next up we have Love the Coopers. I gotta say, you guys, this one was a little underwhelming. Wasn't really a huge fan. It was okay for what it is. I mean, I love like family-tied kind of Christmas movies and stuff like that, but this one for me just didn't really work too well. I mean, you definitely have like drama coming from like all ends. Like each person in the family kind of has their own things going on and stuff in their life and whatnot. And you know, you have these parents, they're trying to get a divorce, I guess, just kind of out of nowhere after so many years. And then the kids, I don't know, they all just seem kind of estranged, and I just did not really feel like there was really any chemistry going on between the family. So I mean, that was just me. I mean, it was okay for what it is, but it's far from being a great like kind of family Christmas flick, you know. So it was just okay. All right, so we got another family Christmas flick, and that is Almost Christmas. This is another one too, just okay. Does not compare in any way at all to This Christmas. This one, again, kind of lacked a little bit of that character chemistry. There was definitely, you know, like plenty of drama and everything, but it wasn't anything like over the top, or, you know, none of the characters in here I felt like really shined at all. Again, it's not This Christmas. This Christmas is like so much better than this one. Because This Christmas, you got the whole character chemistry and drama and all of that, all the good stuff you want to see. But this one, I don't know, it's just missing something for me. I love the cast. Like, you have an amazing cast in here. And I mean, they each kind of did their own thing. But basically here you have this family that they get together. The mom died like a year prior, and so it's the first time they're getting together with just the dad. And so like the siblings, all of them don't necessarily, you know, get along, especially like the two sisters or whatever. And then you have this kind of like cuckoo aunt or whatever. But I mean, it definitely has some funny moments. But for me, honestly, it's funny because I think the ending was probably my favorite. Like, who knew that a sweet potato pie could bring so much love to one room? But yeah, it was all right, you guys. All right, we got Santa Claus the movie. You guys, I ain't gonna lie, this is probably one of the most boring Christmas films I have ever seen. Like, I don't get it. I was not feeling this at all. You basically, it kind of starts off with how kind of Santa came to be, and then it kind of, you know, follows the years a little bit, and then jumps to the present, and, you know, how people believe in Santa Claus and stuff like that. But then there's a kind of toy company that is trying to take over things, be like, oh, you know, there's no need for Santa, stuff like that. And of course, you have John Lithgow at the front of the toy company, though he wasn't a very good kind of villain dude in this film, which normally he's a good villain, but he just wasn't in this one. He just was kind of sucked. But I don't know what it was about this. I just could not get into it at all, and it just like super dragged for me. So I do not recommend this one. I'm sorry if you're a fan of this film, but it was just super boring in my opinion. All right, next one up is Nothing Like the Holidays. Again, another little family Christmas flick. This one, again, it's one that I enjoyed it for the most part. I definitely kind of like the family here is a Hispanic family, because again, they do have the more kind of tradition. There's a lot more like just kind of craziness going on when it comes, to Christmas time, and Hispanic families getting together and all that and stuff. So I mean, it was nice to see. I forget if the family in here was like Puerto Rican or Dominican, but they have this like little tradition, which I'm actually kind of curious if that is something that the people do, like actually in the country. And that is that paranda where they go like up and down the streets, like, singing and, knocking on people's doors and stuff like that, and having them come join them to like carol and stuff. So, I mean, that was kind of cool to see. But yeah, again, it wasn't anything spectacular. Of course, you have your family drama and stuff like that. Another one here where the parents, they're gonna be getting a divorce and stuff, and so that kind of stuff and whatnot. Deborah Messing, though, she was a little out of place here. Like, I just didn't really feel like she fit in very well. She plays the wife of one of the sons or whatever. But yeah, again, it's nothing special, but I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed seeing a Hispanic family, at the center of it. So that was kind of nice, good music, good food, that kind of stuff. So I like this one. All right, next one is Reindeer Games. I love this one, you guys, and I cannot recommend it enough. Ben Affleck was so freaking good in here, and Charlize Theron, oh my goodness, she was fantastic and just absolutely convincing, like, in her character. Like, wow. But yes, this is a great little action thriller. I enjoyed the whole action part of it and the storyline, and there was just a couple of twists and stuff, and I thought that they were really well like played out and everything, and I enjoyed the heck out of this one. So you want to see some good action, bunch of dudes dressed up as Santa going in to rob a casino and stuff like that, and shootouts and all that. So you definitely want to check this one out if you haven't, because it is so good, and like, yeah, the two of them, they were just freaking awesome. All right, next we got Christmas, Bloody Christmas. This one was definitely on the cheesier side, but I still got some fun from this one. The concept of this being a killer robot Santa who just goes out killing everyone, I thought it was a fun concept for sure, and he literally just does not want to die. I wouldn't say that the kills were necessarily all that great in here. Like, there was a decent amount of gore and everything, but I think the concept itself of this crazy out of control killer robot Santa was fun, and nobody is safe at all. So I'd say definitely give it a watch. It's definitely one that I would eventually watch again, because I thought it was pretty fun. I mean, cheesy at times, yes, but it was fun. All right, so then I did check out Death Cember, you guys. This is a anthology. You get 24 different little stories in here, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Like, definitely some of the stories had some potential to be something like way more like turn into a movie or something. There's a couple in here that really didn't ring Christmas for me, and then you have literally like one animated one, which is basically kind of like a claymation episode type one. That one was interesting and quite disturbing. I was a little horrified by it, but yeah, I think though my favorite one in here, I forget the name of it, but it has to do with like this kind of kid church choir, and they are there's this kid on his deathbed, and so he basically is flatlining, but then in comes this choir of kids, and they start singing, and it literally brings him back, to life. And so if they stop singing, he flatlines, and then they start singing, he comes back to life. So it was it was kind of a funny episode, because literally the years pass on and everything, and this choir is just there the whole time, and they're like literally they're standing there, they're being fed, they have all this like nasty dirty clothes, and then they all grow old, and you kind of see how each of them just kind of dies as the years pass on. It was the ending part of it was like really funny too. So I don't know, that was my favorite one. If you guys have seen this, let me know what your favorite story was in here. But overall, it's a pretty decent little anthology. All right, so I finally did check out the original Miracle on 34th Street, and I gotta say, I enjoyed this one just as much as the remake with Mara Wilson. I mean, what's not to like about this film? You basically have this Santa Claus. He is hired to replace a Santa in the parade, and then goes on to work at the Santa for the Macy's department store, and he is actually the real Santa. And so the lady that hired him, she's like a non-believer in Santa, and so it's basically teaching her daughter to not believe in Santa either. And you know, the girl, she kind of wants to believe and stuff, and so it just goes on that he, you know, seriously thinks he's a real Santa because he is a real Santa, but people don't believe him, so he's set on trial and everything. And because people think that he's just kind of, you know, crazy or whatever, mentally not stable or whatever. So yeah, it's really, really good, you guys. You definitely need to watch it if you haven't. But again, both versions are great, so I mean, I'd recommend either one. But the performances in here were all fantastic, and I really, really enjoyed this one. And especially seeing in black and white, it kind of hits you a little differently. So I really enjoyed you know, watching this one. All right, next up we have The Family Stone. Now this one I definitely enjoyed way, way more than I Love the Coopers. I will say though, oh my gosh, Sarah Jessica Parker's character in here, I just wanted to reach to the freaking TV and just slap her in the face, man. Like, I could not stand her in this. But I love the storyline of this one. I love the, you know, chemistry between the characters, especially like the siblings and stuff. I thought that they all kind of worked well together. But there was the one scene that just made me so freaking mad at Sarah Jessica Parker when they're at the dinner table and she is just doing the worst at explaining herself, like trying to say what she's going to say. And like, seriously, if you're trying to touch on a delicate topic, which they do touch on a couple of delicate topics here in this film, like if you cannot express yourself, like, and you're trying to, and you really don't know what the heck you're trying to say, just stop, please. Like, seriously, just don't even continue to try. Just better shut up than say anything at all. But that scene seriously made me so freaking mad. And then at kind of the end of the conversation there, the look on the gay brother's face, like, I just started bawling, you guys. I could not help myself. It was just, I don't know, the expression on his face just hit me so freaking hard. And I couldn't help myself, you guys. But yeah, I could not stand Sarah Jessica Parker at all through this entire film. But I liked everybody else for sure. The ending also kind of hits you a little bit there, just because, you know, kind of what happens if you've seen this film. But I would definitely recommend watching this one. Definitely this one over Love the Coopers. Trust me, this one is much, much better. All right, next up we got Eloise at Christmas Time. So this one is equally as cute and as funny as Eloise at the Plaza. So if you're a fan of At the Plaza, you'll definitely take a liking to this one. So worth the watch. It just screams Christmas. You have her trying to kind of play matchmaker with you know, one of her good friends and somebody who came back like into the picture or whatever. And you know, she's just really spreading the Christmas cheer and everything. She's waiting for her mom to come home, and she's buying all these presents for everybody in the hotel and everything. So it was a really beautiful, super cute, fun, and just funny film, you guys, and I really did enjoy this one. So yeah, if you're a fan of At the Plaza, definitely check out, you know, At Christmas Time, because it is, you'll like it. All right, next up we have A Wish for Christmas. This one is more of a kind of faith-based film, like a faith Christmas film, but it wasn't a very good one. Like, I've seen so much like better faith-based films and stuff. So I really just wanted this one for Joey Lawrence. He plays the dad in here. But basically you have this daughter, and my goodness, like, she is just Miss Bossy Pants. She's a total biatch. She's a little brat. And I could not stand her. Like, even after she kind of like changes, like, I was like, no, that is so fake. But basically you have her, there's a school dance, it's on Christmas Eve. Her family is devout Christians, and so obviously have mass that day, and so her parents like, no, you can't go. And so basically she makes this wish, like, okay, I wish that I could go to the dance, and I wish that my parents weren't, you know, so, you know, into their religion and everything. And so it just so happens that, you know, the wish comes true, and basically the consequences behind her wish, and like, you know, her parents not being, you know, into being these Christians, everything that would happen to like the people around them and stuff because of it and whatnot. And so then she kind of finally comes to realize, like, okay, maybe it's not so bad after all. She's just kind of seeing like the difference on how like her family kind of treats her, and like the closeness, you know, of them together and stuff. So I mean, yeah, but even after she realized all that and kind of bettered herself and everything, like, I don't know, she just wasn't, I don't know, she just felt like the same, like she just wasn't changed or whatever, you know what I mean? But yeah, so it wasn't good, you guys. Honestly, a one and done for me. All right, next up we have Dear Frankie. This one, you guys, I absolutely loved. It is a very kind of lighthearted, very heartwarming kind of film. Definitely some moments in here that will, you know, hit you for sure. But all the performances in here I thought were absolutely great. Emily Mortimer, she was really good in here. She plays the mom, and then you have the son in here. He's actually deaf. But basically, she has been writing these fake letters to her son, pretending to be his dad. And you don't really get a whole lot of background on the dad or anything like that, but you get enough information to know the kind of person that he was, that there was something that happened in the past. And so basically you have the dad, who you don't really see much here in the film at all, but basically the mom and son and the grandma, the grandma, they've all just kind of been like skipping town, right? Because of everything that kind of happened in the past, and these people that are, you know, kind of always trying to track them down. Oh my gosh. Okay. And basically, you know, find out where they are, and they keep listing them as like missing people or whatever. But anywho, so yeah, they keep skipping town every time the dad comes close to finding them and whatnot. And so the mom continues with these letters, and the son obviously writes back and everything. And he's supposedly, the dad, a seaman, so he's always at sea and stuff. So, you know, he sends him letters and stamps and all that kind of stuff. But it comes the day where the kid actually finds out that supposedly his dad's boat is going to be in town, and so the mom, she has to hire somebody to pretend to be the dad. And so she hires Gerard Butler's character, and it's kind of a strange little relationship that the Gerard Butler and the boy kind of developed there. But I think that he really caught on to actually really liking this boy, and even the mom. And I would have liked to have seen more. I definitely thought that the film would have played out where he came like back into the picture, but it's literally just like the 2 days that they're together, and that's it. So I honestly, it would be nice to see like a second film, but actually, you know, having Gerard Butler more in the picture or whatever. But this is a really beautiful, very, very heartwarming film, you guys. It will definitely, you know, kind of warm your heart and everything. And like I said, the performances in here are all really, really great, especially the deaf boy. I mean, he's not really deaf in real life, but, you know, the way he played it in the movie, he was really, really good. So I highly recommend you check this one out for sure. So yeah, we got Dear Frankie. All right, next up we have 4 Rooms. I enjoyed this one. So it is like an anthology. You get 4 different little stories in here that all take place in a different room in this hotel. You got Tim Roth there, you know, playing the bellboy, and he's basically your main guy for the night, although his character is a little odd. Like, I don't know, just the way he talks and everything was kind of funny, but overall it's a fun one for sure. I think though that I really, really liked the 3rd and 4th story. So the 3rd story is the one with Antonio Banderas and the 2 little kids and stuff, and that one was pretty funny. I will admit, I really liked that one. That was probably my favorite. And then secondly, the one with Tarantino, and it, you know, the whole kind of wager and everything going on, and it does take place on New Year's Eve, so it was perfect timing to watch this one. So but yeah, definitely check it out. It's a fun one for sure if you're into like little anthologies and stuff. There's 4 stories, like I said, and yeah, it's a fun one. All right, a couple more to go. So we do have a Foxfire here with Angelina. Of course, she was great as always. And then I really enjoyed this girl right here. I don't know her name. I recognize her from some things, but I don't know her name. But basically this has to do with Angelina. She kind of just walks into the picture. You have a couple of these girls that were being kind of sexually harassed by one of the teachers. Just so happens that teacher is also the football coach. And so the girls that were, you know, being harassed, and then a couple of the other girls, they kind of like help stand up for them and everything. They kind of take on the teacher, kind of beat him up a little bit, and then obviously he goes off to like the football team and kind of gets them to kind of harass the girls a little bit, you know, bother them and stuff. As they all get like suspended and everything. But yeah, Angelina Jolie, she's kind of like your bad girl who kind of puts them in these kind of like bad situations and stuff like that. And so, I mean, they grow this friendship, which is kind of nice. It's a nice little kind of like coming of age flick and everything. And they just so happen to like kind of bond together over certain things. But yeah, she's the kind of like bad influence to them and stuff like that. They end up getting arrested at one point and stuff. And just one thing leads to another. And so, yeah, but overall, this is a really, really good film, you guys. So I would highly recommend you check it out because there is some really good chemistry between all the girls here and everything, and just some great performances throughout. So yeah, definitely check out Foxfire. All right, last but not least, we have The Unholy. So my cousin actually brought this over and was like, let's watch this. So I watched it with them. And yeah, this movie sucked, you guys. Like, I'm so glad that I actually passed on this several times because I see this all the time at one of the library sales that I go to. They have like a ton of copies. And so I was always tempted to pick it up. And I'm so glad that I did not because, yeah, this movie is just terrible. It is supposed to be like a faith horror type film. And basically you have like supposedly the Virgin Mary, which it's not really, who's coming through doing all these miracles. This one girl, she basically was deaf, and then all of a sudden she could start talking, and then so all these other people she's helping create these miracles and stuff like that because, you know, the Virgin Mary and blah 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 kind of thing. But it just was not good. It was not even like scary. It really just kind of dragged. It was kind of slow, and every time whatever the hell this thing is like popped up, like it was always just so freaking like cheesy. Like the effects were just not good, the makeup was not great or anything at all. So I do not recommend this one. Like I said, this kind of had potential to maybe be something greater, like something, I don't know, just more horrific if they had gone into more with like demons and hell and like the devil and kind of stuff like that. It could have been better, but they did not go the right route with this film for sure. So definitely a no. So that is everything that I recently watched. I know it's actually been a minute since I did one of these videos, like over a month I want to say, but like I said, December was kind of an odd month for me. Really didn't feel like I was watching a whole lot, but I managed to get all that stuff in, a little bit on streaming too, so you'll see that coming up soon. But anywho, you guys, let me know if you guys have seen any of these films and your thoughts on them. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching. Join the family if you have not, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.